breaks, and somebody dies because of illegal immigration, somebody at the border, I say to myself, Donald Trump, he's been saying it, he's been talking about it. Remember Stein, the poor lady that lost her life in California? Well, another gentleman, a good man, actually lost his life. And a guy from Fox News had been on to talk about this, Todd Starnes, and I want you to hear what he has to say in this report that he had just filed yesterday.
By all accounts, David...
Okay, here it is.
He was a good person, a gentle and caring man, a former missionary who was also a manager at a famous Dave's barbecue joint in Indianapolis. Well, the other night, Mr. Crane was driving home after work when he was hit from behind. The force of the impact flipped his car, and he was ejected. Mr. Crane, a father and grandfather, died at a hospital later that night. Now, the woman charged with the death did not have a driver's license. Police say Elizabeth Vargas Hernandez was also drunk. And the Marion County Sheriff's Office tells me ICE has placed an immigration hold on Ms. Hernandez. The IndyChannel.com says she was also in a car crash in 2016, accused of driving without a license, but she was not arrested. Liberals want to protect people like the woman who killed David Crane. They want to provide sanctuary to those who live among us illegally, those who would do us harm. The cold, hard reality, folks, is that Mr. Crane would still be alive today if only somebody had bothered to secure the border. Build that wall, Mr. President. Build it for people like David Crane. Back to you.
All right, Mr. Starnes, thanks for that report. And yes, he's right on the money. These folks get away with it, and we have mayors in all sorts of our cities allowing those that have been arrested for drunken driving, hurting people, cutting people, slicing people, robbing people, all sorts of terrible things. And now, the latest in Colorado, a Mexican woman trying to avoid deportation. Where did she go? Into a Denver church today. According to the U.S. immigration authorities, denied her request to remain in the country. This is the latest to rattle the immigration community at the White House. Here's a lady who got involved with a drunken driving, which was not a misdemeanor, by the way, but she was let go. ICE spokesman Sean Nodder said that this lady was using profanity and swearing and saying that she's going to take refuge in a church and nobody can touch her. And the mayor backs up the decision. These people can get away with hitting people, murdering people, raping people, stealing from people, and being illegal, undocumented in our country. This is not the way you become a citizen in our country. This is an all-time low. And you're getting those that consider themselves to be progressives because you believe in equality so much. How is that really a good thing for our country when you allow people to get away with murder, literally, and not able to contribute to society and yet leech off every one of us? That's not a good thing. And by the way, that's not the American dream. That's not the real immigrant story. There's a right way to do things, and that's not the right way. We're enabling these people. Why? Because they're paid voters, and they know they'll get their votes illegally. Trump was right about that, too.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. Wait for the people, for the people, for the people is there.
For the People is on the air for you. Each day we strive to tell it to you straight, not watered down, so you can know what's going on each day. Our show is different from many of the others on air. We're not afraid of the PC police, and we explain our position, at the same time understanding the left's position and what we can do to further a conservative agenda for America. For the People is listener-supported and relies on listeners like you to help us get the word out. So, if you like what we do and want to help For the People, sign up today at our website at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Your support allows us to report the news fearlessly and guarantees our survival on the air. As a thank you, we'll send you our monthly newsletter with commentary and money-saving tips. Can we count on your support? Thank you for helping America. To become a For the People member, log on to forthepeopleshow.com. Now,
if you or someone you care about is a veteran or currently serving in the U.S. military, and you're suffering from symptoms of post-traumatic stress, listen carefully.
Debilitating mood swings, depression, and anxiety are just a fraction of what our brave servicemen and women are fighting to overcome. Fortunately, there is help.
Call 866-966-1020, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Or go to www.realwarriors.net.
Trained personnel are standing by.
engaging the culture with common sense and information that you will not hear on the mainstream media.
Every time they're busted for doing something really sordid and evil, they figure out a way to take the blame for that and put it on the South, or they put it on America, anyone except themselves.
For the People fights for your rights. Unlike so many other shows that air, ours is 100% listener supported. And because of that, we cannot be bought or sold by anyone. Will you join us in our quest to penetrate the airwaves with good old-fashioned common sense? To become a For the People supporter, find us online at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Becoming a For the People supporter will help us stay on the air and give voice to Mr. and Mrs. America. That's forthepeopleshow.com. For the People. There for you.
Engaging and thought-provoking and a good dose of common sense. We're For the People. Now back to Keith Allen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I had a friend of mine say, man, you're on fire today. And the thing is, I am passionate about this country and passionate about fixing the problems that are making us broke and hurting people and hurting this country and our reputation. We have a lot of good people. We have a lot to offer the world. We really do. But when we have a government of dysfunction, that's exactly what's taking place right now. And that's what they want. They don't want a functioning government, and it's clear. They want a dysfunctioning government where they could say, see, Donald Trump, he can't handle it, can't pull it together. These people are idiots. They're morons. They're not Washingtonians. They are not the real people in the Beltway. See, you needed to get professional, polished professionals in here. Please step aside and get away. The problem is that hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. It's gotten us further into debt. It's got us engaged into more wars. It's weakened our country from within, and it's allowed crackpots into our country that don't belong here. And folks, there's a lot of crackpots in our country. I mean, a lot of mentally whacked out people that wish you harm, wish me harm. I'm not talking about you. If you have a mental illness, you know somebody that does. And that's, hopefully you're getting treatment for that. And you love those people. I'm talking about people that will come in here and they're not treated. They're under the radar and they're bad people. We don't know who they are. And they're getting sanctuary cities. I am frustrated with it. This one American is very upset, very angry about it, and I'm going to articulate it. Trump needs help, and I'm hoping that God smiles on him once more from Washington and enables him to find these rats that are spewing out all this hatred and making this government dysfunctioning, because it really hurts us, all of us, those that voted for Donald Trump and those that didn't vote for him too. We'll be back. For the People has a special opportunity for you. If you own a business and want to gain a national audience that is loyal and will do business with you, imagine being able to get your product and or service into the hands of tens of thousands of people each week. Sponsorship opportunities are now available at rates you can afford. Finally, the show you love, with your business supporting what we do in partnership. Start running your commercials today. To contact us, go to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com.
I'm a mom, and just like millions of other women, that's why I own guns. We're responsible, we're law-abiding, and we're everything that makes America strong. Every day we're willing to use a firearm to defend our families. But the media will never tell those stories. If a mom puts a gun to the face of a home-invading thug and makes him run for his life, the story gets buried. But if she's unarmed and murdered, the cameras will be at the scene before the police. It's time for moms like me to speak out. We are the majority. We demand the freedom to defend our families. And we challenge the media to tell the truth about our rights. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
For the People is on the air for you. Each day we strive to tell it to you straight, not watered down, so you can know what's going on each day. Our show is different from many of the others on air. We're not afraid of the PC police, and we explain our position, at the same time understanding the left's position and what we can do to further a conservative agenda for America. For the People is listener-supported and relies on listeners like you to help us get the word out. So, if you like what we do and want to help For the People, sign up today at our website at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Your support allows us to report the news fearlessly and guarantees our survival on the air. As a thank you, we'll send you our monthly newsletter with commentary and money-saving tips. Can we count on your support? Thank you for helping America. To become a For the People member, log on to forthepeopleshow.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to For the People, and no stranger to For the People is my good friend, Dr. John Monaco, and we're going to make sure that he gets his mic in front of him. You just pull your chair in a little bit here. There you go.
Does that work, Keith?
All right, there you go.
There we go.
All right, Dr. John Monaco wrote a book with Ricky Lake, and her late husband, I understand, passed away. God bless him and Ricky and the family at this time. The book, Too Small to Be Big, The All-Stride Solution. This is not your first book, but this was one of your big books with Ricky Lake. Doctor, what is that book about?
Well, as we've talked about before, Keith, I spent many years in acute care pediatrics, taking care of sick kids in the hospital, taking care of acute illnesses, and started to realize after I went through my own health crisis that what we really need to do is prevent illness. And although the focus is on obesity, overweight, and those types of problems, I have now branched into more general areas of wellness, in particular for adolescents, children, and families. And by really observing very simple rules and taking charge of our lives, we can all live healthier, happier lives, which is really the goal. Longevity is nice, but if those years aren't filled with health and happiness, what's the point?
Now, how did you relate to all of this?
Personally, well, in several ways. One, I was a chubby kid growing up. I got picked on and so forth. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, chubby like, 10 pounds over, 20 pounds overweight, like you had a little belly or something? Or?
Yeah, where I wore the husky jeans and that kind of thing.
So you were more than 10 pounds overweight.
Okay.
All right.
Depends on what year you were talking about.
But you were chunchy, that's what we called it. You were big boned, and we try to get away with it. You weren't fat, you were just big boned. But you were the fat kid? Is that what you're saying? You were
yeah,
the fat
I
kid
was one of the few. Yeah, there weren't as many back then, but yeah.
And do you remember how that made you feel back then? Did you not like that?
It just made you feel the worst thing that an adolescent can feel, and that is excluded or different in any way. The
reason I'm kind of going that direction is that I'm sure that there's grandparents listening and parents that have kids that are overweight. It is an epidemic, and I'd have to say kudos to Michelle Obama for at least spotlighting that epidemic and trying to get kids to get off the sugar and start eating healthier meals. And Melania Trump has kept the spice and vegetable garden there at the White House, which is a good thing because all of us, even as adults, not just kids, all of us need to just be eating healthier.
Yes.
It's not every day that you can't have an ice cream, but it's just you have to make good decisions. And so you did have a wake-up call later in life, and what was that wake-up call for you?
Yeah, later in life, while I was in the midst of a stressful divorce and some other issues, I started having chest pain. And
oh no,
being one of those bad doctors that didn't go religiously to the doctor myself.
Wait a second.